Good thing I was using Google Maps today. It knew to detour me from the construction going on. Ugh, not paved. This is my welcome to West Virginia. I hear things falling in my cabinets. That rough ride only lasted less than 10 minutes, but it seemed like an hour. That bumpy road knocked the spray bottle off its hook. It's full of vinegar, that's what I clean with. The top came loose, or it wasn't tight to begin with. Some vinegar leaked out. The toilet paper soaked up some of it. But some ended up in my ice maker, so I won't be making ice until I can clean it out. Minor tragedy. Very minor. Lincoln Highway goes through West Virginia for just a few miles, but there is a roadside attraction here. The world's largest teapot. This town, Chester, West Virginia, was once home to the largest pottery industry in the world, and this was to promote that industry. They would serve snacks, souvenirs, and teapots out of this structure. Look at my van, it looks like it's going to tip over on that hill. Looking forward to driving through flat states. Downtown Chester, West Virginia. Very nice. I was wondering if we have the world's biggest anything in Rhode Island, and we do have the world's largest bug. How could I forget Nibbles the termite? This old bridge has a 10-ton weight limit. Hopefully that's per vehicle, because my van is about 5 tons, and there are other cars totaling more than 10 tons. That would be a dramatic way to die, tumbling down into that river below. The guy collecting the bridge toll was asking about everything I have on my dashboard. I have a Garmin GPS, a rear dash cam because you can't really see anything in the rear view mirror on this van, my phone in case I need to use Google directions, and I have another dash cam above the sliding door. There's a blind spot there, and my GoPro to record my travels. In Ohio now. This is Salem, Ohio, another thriving town. I'll be spending the night in this Canton, Ohio parking lot. We're up a hill and there's nothing but hotels up here. Seems quiet, but I saw 2 cops coming out of the hotel next door with someone's belongings. A suitcase and clothes on hangers, as if somebody possibly died in their hotel room, and their belongings need to be sent home. That's my guess. The cops were being very respectful of what they were carrying. Well, it was a quiet night here last night, but I saw what may be the most bizarre thing I've ever seen on the road. I walked my dog at about 9:30 last night, right in this parking lot. It was dark, but there are lights, and I looked down at this other hotel parking lot and saw a baby. He looked the same age as this baby, but he wasn't wearing a diaper or anything. I could see it was a boy because he was naked. No shoes, no nothing. He looked like he was just learning to walk. He could barely keep his balance for more than a few steps. With him were 3 people, a guy in his late 20s who seemed to be the father. Another guy looked college age, around 20 years old. Maybe he was the baby's uncle. And an older woman, I'm guessing she was the baby's grandmother. So the baby was trying to walk and was falling on the pavement with no shoes and no clothing to protect his skin. And the 20-year-old guy has a giant towel, and he starts pretending to be a matador, and the baby is a bull. In other words, holds the towel like the matador does with a cape, and every time the baby approaches, he pulls the towel away like it's a bullfight. Of course, the baby can't run like a bull, so he just falls to the pavement naked as a jaybird. The father is standing there watching like it's a typical Saturday night. Grandma has her cell phone out recording the whole thing. These people didn't look like white trash. They were all well-groomed, well-dressed, staying at a fairly expensive hotel. It was just so surreal and disturbing. For the rest of the night, I was just like, what did I just witness? It was basically a naked baby bullfight. I've seen some strange things on the road, but that takes the cake. An unexpected treat somewhere here in Ohio. An ice cream cone-shaped building. Not much information on the internet. Made in the 1980s and may have been shipped here from Florida, which is where the company was before it went bankrupt. Very cool. This is Mansfield Reformatory, where Shawshank Redemption was filmed. Beautiful architecture. It took 10 years to build this place in the late 1800s. This prison actually had a high success rate with reforming prisoners. They used religion, education, and taught them a trade. They also had a popular prison warden here back in the day who piped music into the jail cells. They had an electric chair called Old Sparky. It executed 315 prisoners. It looks like a medieval fortress. Okay, a prison guard and a truck just pulled up next to me and he's giving me the stink eye. Guess I better leave. That old prison is a tourist attraction. They give tours if you want to cough up $25, so I thought photography was allowed, but there's a newer prison still in operation right next to it, and some prisons don't allow photography on the property. Some do, and some don't. Bucyrus, Ohio. I think that's how it's pronounced. This town has a 3D mural.
Dusky Avenue on the left.
Lady Liberty holding a dying soldier. Depicted here are 285 local veterans from every war. There's a female aviator here who founded the Aerial Nurse Corps. A couple of animals, too. A dog that served in Vietnam, and Frank the Warhorse from the Civil War. Stretching our legs, walking around town, and I noticed another mural. A green fountain. Interesting. Looks like a depiction of this town in the early 20th century. Lots of great detail. There's the Lincoln Highway emblem that I've seen on signs along the way. Very impressive. I don't know why the fountain is green though. Amish furniture store here. I haven't seen any Amish along the Lincoln Highway. There must be some Amish around here. This is one of the nicer Walmarts I've ever stayed at. This is Upper Sandusky, Ohio. Clean and quiet. Look at all this grass for my dog to do her business. What do we have here? An old drive-in movie theater. Its website says that it was built in 1948. A grassy field. This is something I've never seen before. I've only seen paved drive-ins. This is farm country, so they used a field. Another thing I've never seen, benches so you can sit closer to the screen. Maybe for people that walked here? Glad they're still in business. Wert, Ohio. Old-timey Lincoln Highway photos. Look at that building, my God. That's a courthouse. It's stunning. Across the street is the Marsh Hotel, which was owned by a wealthy man named George Marsh. One freezing night, he and his wife drove down the street, returning from a road trip. They spotted two shivering boys huddled together in a doorway, and they decided right then and there to build a children's home and school for the poor here in Wert. After they died, their entire $5 million estate went to helping children. The Marsh Foundation is still helping the poor in this area 100 years later.
Arriving at 903 West Main Street on the right.
Wert also had a B&K root beer here on Lincoln Highway. These stands have been around in the Midwest since the 1940s. This particular one has been in business here since 1955. Welcome to Indiana.
Arriving at Pilot Flying J on the left.
Spending the night at this truck stop if it's not too noisy. I've spent the night adjacent to truck stops, but not in one, I don't think. I just realized that I have stayed at the world's biggest truck stop in Iowa. Several nights there. How could I forget that?